Imagine New Haven in 1971. Anti-war demonstrations, Yale students on strike for a worker-student alliance. The establishment could no longer be trusted. Conformity was out. Freedom was in. And for those who thought about it, the place for people with intellectual disabilities was with the rest of us, not a big institution with high walls, cement dormitories, and straitjackets for those who rebelled. Such was the backdrop for the creation of Marrakech, begun by two naive Yale students with a vision for a different society. The idea was to expand the definition of normal rather than requiring those with disabilities to hide or change. That meant engaging with the community, using existing resources, and relying on anyone, that means anyone, willing to help. Marrakech's goal was and continues to be to help people find their places in the world and to encourage the world to find places for them. As a thankful parent once said, Marrakech raises your expectations for the future, for yourself, and the person you care about. Marrakech strives to foster acceptance and tolerance, give peace of mind to families that their loved ones are safe and well cared for, and engender a spirit of optimism amongst its clients, volunteers, and staff. Marrakech began back in 1971 as a halfway house, a starting off place for those who might someday live independently. It was a simple plan: 8 women, 1 house, 2 students, Susan Wasprin and Francie Brody, and 1 dream of making a better home for women with intellectual disabilities. Some of the first young women at Marrakech had lived their entire lives in Southbury Training School, a huge institution that warehoused those with intellectual disabilities. Some had never washed their own hair, prepared a meal, or bought a bus ticket. Seymour Saracen, a well-known professor of psychology at Yale, championed the idea of bringing all citizens out of institutions and into the community. He saw to it that the young students had a plan to teach the first residents of Marrakech everyday tasks for independence, and that existing community programs would help. He was the anonymous donor who bought an album for each new resident when they almost backed out the night before opening day. He negotiated free beds, dressers, and a kitchen table from the New Haven Regional Center. He brought in Herb Calhoun from Dwight Hall, Yale's Center for Public Service and Social Justice, to recruit additional volunteers and provide startup funding. He introduced principles for creating settings in future societies with concepts such as no one leader is indispensable. There will never be a time when there are no more problems. And when it stops being fun, it stops growing. And so it was fun, and it attracted volunteers with energy, expertise, and experience. Walter Wagner, a young lawyer, helped incorporate the organization as a nonprofit. The New Haven Foundation, now known as the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, was a key supporter in those early years, and as we grew, the Department of Developmental Services established Marrakech as a vendor for a variety of services. And of course, there are all of those incredible donors and volunteers who are keeping the dream alive today. Speaking of today, 40 years later, Marrakech is thriving and serving almost 2,000 people. That's right, 2,000 people who face challenges including developmental and acquired disabilities, mental illness, and/or substance abuse and economic challenges. And that vision belongs to Frank McCarthy, who has carried the torch for the past decades. There are now 21 programs that include residential, employment training, and affordable housing, and over 800 staff members who are helping individuals raise their expectations and improve their lives. Here are a few of the stories from the past 40 years.
Christopher is my son. He is 11 years old. He was diagnosed with autism in February of 2002, and it was extremely traumatic when we first received the diagnosis, but we have been able to weather the storm really through just having incredible care providers. As far as Marrakech is concerned, we just love the service, and all the individuals that we've had as care providers over the years have been so helpful and incredibly considerate, and I just don't think we would be able to manage without having those services in our life. It's all the difference in the world you could not function with a severely autistic child without having the support of such a wonderful organization without Marrakech. My son and my family are the personification of the incredible good that can be done by supporting Marrakech. You can see the effect of your financial assistance by looking at a family like mine and look at how much he's progressed and how my family has stayed together despite this traumatic diagnosis, and say that we are the embodiment of the good that those dollars can do.
Think about like a yard. I don't know, you have like a huge flower bed and it comes into a season of winter. Bad times, cold times, you know, you can't really function. Things start to die out, you're feeling really low, you know, so a lot of things change drastically. Now when spring comes, that's when hope comes. That's where Marrakech come in, you know, that's like a second chance for you to bring all your ability. That means a lot. That really means a lot.
I do like Marrakech. It's a strong, good agency. The nice agency, a lot of staff they have are helping people.
I'm gonna be with Marrakech forever because it's considered family.
In 1974, I knew I had found my place. When we're able to provide some support or training to that individual so that they're able to succeed in a way that, you know, was eluding them in the past, it's tremendously motivating. I think most of us got, you know, into this field because we were looking for something more out of our work life than just, you know, earning a living. I, again, would like to thank our donors, you know, for their incredible loyalty and generosity to the organization and for their moral support. You know, without that, we couldn't do what we do.
As seen from the stories we've just witnessed, the philosophy of helping others, expanding the definition of normal, and engaging the community survives to this day. Helping individuals reach their full potential is what Marrakech is all about. After all, that's where I started, here in New Haven with Valerie, 40 years ago. Because of Marrakech and your continuing support, Valerie and thousands of others are still a part of our organization today, and they're enjoying a quality of life that might not otherwise have been attainable. Thank you for keeping our dream alive of raising expectations for a better society. From all of the consumers, family members, employees, and volunteers, here's to another 40 years of coming together as a community to support the efforts of the Marrakech family.